Hi there, in this video I'm going to be doing a quick overview of Voice of the Customer, which is a solution that's available in Dynamics 365 or Microsoft CRM 2016. If you don't know what Voice of the Customer is, or you've not heard about it before, it's a solution, it's a third-party solution which was bought over by Microsoft, and it actually ships with Dynamics 365 online, so it's included in your license fee. It doesn't come pre-installed, so there's some configuration just to install the solution, but it does come free of charge. So if you want to install it after you watch this video, speak to your Microsoft partner; they'll be able to help you out with that. It's a tool used to send surveys out to customers, and it utilises entities in CRM, so it's custom entities, and the records used to create the survey and to record the responses of the survey are just entities like any other entities. So which means you can run workflows off them, you can use them to create charts and dashboards, you can even pull them into Power BI, just like any other record type in CRM. So the possibilities are endless, because if you run workflows off them, then you can run plugins off them. And it consists of a few custom entities. You create your survey in one of them. It then uploads the survey to a hosted website, and it distributes you can distribute the URL, and the website feeds back into CRM. So that's a quick description. I'll start off this video by showing you how to create a survey. I've already got a survey created. Like I said, this is a demo, it's not a how-to video. So I'll show you a created survey, preview a survey, and then I'll do a kind of customer journey. So we'll start from looking at an order, and we'll confirm that order, and we'll see the survey get emailed out via workflow in CRM to a customer. We'll complete a survey and we'll look at that response and what it looks like when it comes back in. So we'll start off with looking at a survey. So underneath your main navigation, if you've got the solution installed, you'll see this Voice of the Customer section. If you don't see that, then chances are you've not got it installed. So speak to your Microsoft partner and get them to do that for you. So click on that. You've got some entities in here which the surveys are made up of. So we'll start by looking at surveys, and we'll look at what's involved in editing and creating a survey. So a survey is just an entity. Opening up this customer satisfaction survey record, this is one I made earlier. As you can see, it's already published. But we'll just look at what that customer satisfaction survey record contains. To create a new one, we would just click the new button. So opening that record, now this record contains a whole host of information. There's a lot of different attributes and a lot of configuration you can put on this record. So I'm not going to go into everything, but I'll show you a few key sections. So you've got the name and the status reason over here. Over here you've got some different attributes. So you've got close date, so that's how long the survey that determines how long the survey is going to be available on the hosted website. You've got restrict multiple completions, which means you can set that to yes, only one survey complete by one person. Anonymous responses, you can set whether to allow anonymous responses, and social sharing. So that'll add the social sharing, like Facebook like or share via Facebook or share via Twitter, icons on the bottom of your survey, so that you can share it over social media as well. When the user, once it complete the survey, can share it over social media. Scrolling down a bit, you've got some other attributes here, some important ones. Theme, it comes with a theme designer. If we go into our default theme, I'll show you what that looks like. You just kind of add in the values here. The page is still loading. So you can click on here and you just add a colour picker, and this dictates what your theme and your progress bar is going to look like. So you can choose any colours you want in there. Down the bottom you can actually use some CSS, so you can fully customise your theme. If you've got a front-end web designer there, you can get them to do a fully customised theme for your survey, and you can choose the hex colours down here if that's the way you prefer to do it. So you can create multiple themes, and different surveys can have different themes. So going back to our survey, Next we've got our logo, so that's your company logo. And further down the page you've got this invitation section. This is another important section. This is your anonymous link. So when you're actually distributing your survey to anonymous users or customers, that's the link you would distribute. Now that's an anonymous customer is a customer that doesn't exist in CRM. Just note that if an anonymous customer uses the anonymous link to complete the survey, it doesn't link back to their contact record, where if you're sending it out to a contact or a lead or an account which exists in CRM, that survey response gets associated to the contact record. This email snippet here is important. This is for use when creating your workflows in CRM and your emails to invite people to take part in the survey, and I'll show you a bit about that in a second. So that's the first part of the form. That's how you start setting up your survey. So you create your survey, you save it, and you put these attributes onto it, and that affects how the survey looks and behaves. Now, when you design a survey, it's quite clever this. If you're aware, you have multiple forms for an entity in CRM. And to design a survey, that's how they've designed this entity. You change the form. So we've got our default survey form here. If we open that up, we can then go to Designer. It's a different form in CRM, but this takes us to the Survey Designer, which is actually an iframe, and that's hosted up on the voice of the customer server. So it's a WYSIWYG editor, so that's what you see is what you get. You've got a kind of preview of what your survey looks in the middle. You've got your pages down the side. Now, a survey must have a minimum of 3 pages, and that's to include a welcome page, your survey questions, and then a completion page at the end. You can add more pages down here, and you have as many pages as you want within reason. But looking at the WYSIWYG editor here, you can also look at different methods of editing these questions. We can edit these questions in line by clicking this little editor icon, so we can edit some content in there. I'm not going to do that, and save it. You can also click the edit button, and this will take you to the advanced editor. So clicking that, you can go into the survey question and add different attributes, and each of these attributes depends what affects how the question behaves on the survey web page. To add questions, you can click and drag them. So this is your different question types down your right hand side. So clicking on a short answer, and it's just like you're editing forms in CRM. You can drop that onto the survey and save that, and that's you've got a text question. You've got a whole host of different types of question that you can add. So short answer, which is just text, long answer, description box. You can have ratings and dates, you can have rankings, you can have smiley faces, so a whole load of questions on there. You've also got the option up here of using piped data. So if I edit that question in the list, so this is dynamic fields, so when that survey is displayed to your customer, that'll display information which is relative to them. In this case, we've got the customer, which looks at the customer name, and the product, which actually isn't the product. Actually, I've configured it to look up at the order reference. Because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take you through one of the kind of life cycle of the customer survey. I'm going to look at an existing order. I'm going to confirm that order, and that's going to trigger a workflow which sends an email to the customer. It'll be to take part in the survey, it'll be a personalised email, and the survey will be personalised as well. And to add these pipes into your survey, you just click the different options you've got available to there, and I'll show you how you create those pipes. I'll just show a brief overview of how to create those pipes and how they'll look like in your workflows and your email templates. So going back to our survey editor, like I said, I've created a survey here. I've got a few different types of questions just for demo purposes. I've got some smiley faces on there, some ratings, some descriptive text. I've got a preview button up here which allows the administrator to preview what the survey looks like. Oh, my pop-up is blocked. So I'll try that again. So that's what our survey looks like. As you can see, it's got the same template colours that we configured, that I showed you earlier. I've configured. You've got your company logo at the top here, and your different questions. Now you can also do conditional input on here as well. So for example, I've got here, did you make your purchase via the website or did you speak to a sales representative? If I choose the answer website, it kind of unhides the website ranking system. If I choose sales representative, it changes the question to rate the sales representative. Now you don't necessarily have to hide and show questions. You can actually guide them right away through the survey by hiding and showing pages and directing them to specific pages, sections or questions. So it's that granular. Cause them to navigate a different page, or you can cause them to navigate a different question, show and hide questions or different sections. So running through our preview, we'll put some star rankings on our sales rep and clicking next, and then you've got the smiley face questions as well, and we've got another question right at the end. So this is just a preview, so it won't actually submit anything, and then your completion page. So that's a kind of brief overview of how you actually create or edit surveys and how you can add questions to the editor. I'm going now to start the customer journey for you. So if I open up an existing order, now I've got a workflow which runs on the when an order is marked as confirmed. And what it does, it sends an email out to the customer, and it just asks them to complete the customer satisfaction survey that I showed you earlier. So the order I've got set up with my email address is this one. So the customer is Abraham McCormick, and if we go in there, Abraham's been set up with my email address. So if we click confirm, we see the order's confirmed, the record's saving, and that triggers the workflow which sends an email to my email address. Now while I'm waiting on that email coming through, I'll just show you how the workflow looks. So there's the workflow which is just run on that record. And if we look at the email template, the email that was sent out, this says hi, and we've used the standard CRM email editor to put dynamic content in it. So this says hi, first name, in this case Abraham, your feedback's important to us, and blah blah blah, and then it's got this survey snippet. Now that's the unique identifier of the survey, and you get, that's the bit I showed you earlier when we were looking at the invitation section. So if I go back to the survey, I'll show you how you get that, how you copy that into the email. And there's that email just came through. But yeah, this snippet, this invitation snippet here, this is the important part, and this is the part that your administrator, or if you're a marketeer, you would use that link to put in your email templates. And to copy that snippet, you just click the copy snippet button, and that's it copied to your clipboard. As you can see, if I paste it, there it is there. Now if you notice, you've got the two tags here, this survey snippet start and survey snippet end. If we go back and look at our workflow, and specifically email within our workflow. We've got our survey snippet and the survey snippet start, and then we've got some more information that we've added in ourselves. Now that information is the piped value, so those pipes correspond to the fields I showed you earlier, the customer, which we had in our first question, or intro, and we've looked at the customer. We've used the CRM standard dynamic content editor to add first name customer. Then we've got another pipe, and we've got product equals, and then we've pointed that to the order ID field. So that's pulling in data from the record that we ran the workflow on, attaching it to that survey unique identifier and that survey snippet, and that'll come through on our survey page. I'll show you that email now. So there's the email that's just come through. It says, "Hi Abraham," so that's our dynamic content from our CRM workflow. Your feedback is important to us. Make your voice heard by completing your customer survey. And it isn't the snippet that's shown, it's the link, the snippet text, and it says take survey. So clicking on that should open our survey. Notice it takes you to the voice of the customer website. And here's our survey, and this is where those piped values come in. So this is these are dynamic fields, Abraham, and then my order ID are dynamic fields that were taken from the order record and piped through the email template to the survey, and that makes that survey unique to me. That gives the impression that it's unique to me. So we'll fill in our survey. Let's say we did the website. We'll give the website some star ratings, some smiley faces, and in this case we're going to say we're not happy with the product, and the reason I'm doing that is I'm going to show you that close that loop on the customer satisfaction journey, or the customer survey journey, and show you that we can actually have actions happen after the survey is filled out. So in this case we're going to say no, we're not satisfied with the product, and it didn't, well, it was faulty. And let's submit that survey. So that's our survey submitted. So the customer's he's got his product confirmed, he's received his product. We've filled in now a survey to see how satisfied we are with that product. And now we're going to look from the marketing department or the CRM admin's point of view, and see what that response looks like when it comes in. So on our survey again, we can look at survey responses. And there's the one we did there. So here's our survey response. A lot of information on this again. You've got different scoring ratings because when you're setting up your survey you configure the weight value. Different questions can be weighted in different ways, so some are more important to others. So each question's got a score, and each survey response has a score, depending on how you weigh these questions. Then you've got a summary, and this shows you what the customer answered to the questions given in the survey. So that's the response summary. Now you notice this is an HTML web resource. That's because the questions actually come in as record types as well. So there's a response entity type, response question entity type. So you can run workflows off the back of them. And like I said at the start of the video, it's all built on CRM entities. So it's records that go into CRM. Every part of this is a record, which opens up a whole world of possibilities because you can run workflows and plugins. You can pull those records and the data that's in those records through to Power BI, create dashboards, charts. Anything that you can do with any other entity in CRM, you can do with the records that are created through the voice of the customer surveys. So there's some more information down there. These are the question responses, the actual records that are created in CRM rather than the summary. what I'll show you now is just I've configured an action that comes off the back of that. So within the voice of the customer, you can have some routing rules set up, and they can be server side or client side. Some of the examples of the routing rules I used earlier were to show and hide the different questions, and those are the client side routing rules. I did configure another one which when we say we're not satisfied and put a description in, it creates a record to say that we need to take an action. So that's what we're going to look at now. So let's go back to our customer satisfaction survey. And if we have a look at response outcomes, yeah, so we've got a response outcome here from Abraham McCormick, and that's a complaint. So that creates a record in CRM, which is a complaint record. It's a response outcome of type complaint. And looking in that, we can see the response to that question. Did your product live up to your expectations? And the response was no. Now, what you could do to close the loop fully, you could create a workflow which created a case off the back of that record being created, or you could manually create a case, but you could certainly set up a view in CRM or a view in CRM, then use it in a dashboard so that somebody monitors that stack and looks for any complaints coming in, or someone alerted when complaints are in. To just show you an example of that you can use this data in dashboards, it does actually come with a dashboards, and that's another form within CRM, a dashboards section. They are very standard dashboards, but it just demonstrates that you can create just CRM out the box CRM dashboards based on this data. So we can see that we've had 13 survey invites sent out, 4 responses, and some more data. But like I said, they're very basic. The out of the box ones are very basic, but it just demonstrates you've got the possibility to create your own more advanced dashboards and charts. And like I said, the real power would come when you start using this data and pulling it through to Power BI and creating kind of dynamic dashboards and really flashy stuff and putting that in your dashboards within CRM. So that's me, a kind of brief overview of some of the possibilities and some of the things that the voice of the customer can do. And like I said, it's completely free. It comes with your Dynamics 365 license, which is the best part about it. What I'll do, when I come to implement this, if I've got time, I'll do some more videos just on each section, just if you've got to identify any kind of gotchas or any problems I have with it, or just document my user experience and how to create surveys and how to deal with responses. And if I come across any tips or Power BI, handy Power BI charts, then our reporting tools, then I'll let you know. Cheers.